Irithel, they want to go double down on that gold lane ban because I would say Mortis doesn't really do well against Irithel, especially when you have those mobility. You can't really catch up with the Irithel. Combined with the sprint, combined with the quantum charge, it's going to be hard for you to deal with that.
Unless, of course, with the great Dragon Spear, something can happen here. For Geek Fam, though, they are respecting the potential for the Novaria to make an appearance. You do see tankier front lines, which might mean squishier back lines. But as you mentioned, Mirko, the level 4 is going to be so dangerous in a turtle fight. If the Martis just gets one shutdown, I mean one kill with the decimation, they can just translate or be used to just continue that streak and just push the game out of control. So for Geek Fam, I think early game aggression is definitely the way to go. They supplement that with a pick-off tool, that Kufra.
No Saber Roam this time.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Saber Roam is just specifically counter the Natalia, so I don't think it's going to bring it up in this case. But Aura Fire, so far they have a very flexible draft. Kadira can go to the mid lane, can go to the roaming area, and also high. I mean, this Edith technically can also go to the mid lane and also roam, but there you go. So I believe it's going to be Kadira mid and Edith roam, high roam.
Yeah, that should be what's going on here. But again, for Aura Fire, that St. DeLuca's presence once again comes through. Remember, the two heroes, Badang and Khalid, that we've seen before was from MPLSG, from Diablo, Coach St. DeLuca's previous team.
We have a comment here from R7. To counter Oran, it's easy to anticipate. You just have to wait for the Lord to spawn in 30 seconds. Wait for it to be 30 seconds before the Lord spawns and play alongside your marksman and don't let Oran cross the water. His macro is bound to lose. That's how you counter his macro play. So what I'm saying is, if you're too predictable, your opponents can use it against you. And Oran has been doing it so consistently that maybe Geek Fam have a solution. But no, they don't go for a mobile EXP laner. They are going for that team fight presence with the Arlott.
Gotta say, man, not really a fan of that Khalid pick from Aran. Yes, it's pretty good, and also it's a signature for Coach St. DeLucas. He really likes these heroes, but in terms of like that second skill is easily cancelable, so you don't really get a lot of sustainability in a team fight. But we're gonna see how the Raging Sandstorm will be used in a big team fight. That Flicker will do work towards Jadera or the Beatrix.
Oof, man, it's gonna be a tough situation right here for Geek Fam. They have so much more burst potential, and we talked about the early game being critical right here, especially with the turtle being so much more important after the changes in the patch. It just gives you more EXP, allows you to snowball even harder, and I think Geek has the right tools, at least in the early game, to make something happen first.
You're gonna see the spells that has been taken from both of this team. Purify for Kabuki, also Petrify obviously for Kadira. We're gonna see the emblems too, still basic common emblem for Claude for the mana regen. Sin going for pulling stuff together, but we're gonna see a game number 1 of Aura Fire versus Geek Fam.
And despite the changes that we've seen in the patch, this is basically what we are used to seeing in the previous one, the drafts for both Aura Fire and Geek Fam. Still the same as ever right now as Beloyski charges up that Tyrant's Revenge. Good chunk onto 2. High Sin caught good Earth Shatter to clear out the wave. But again, let's talk a little bit about Niall. He went for Killing Spree here, understanding that again, if you go for the GDS, Decimation and Killing Spree, yeah, you're gonna move very fast.
He doesn't have the agility actually. Going for the Season Hunter as well as the Fury, bit more early game stats, faster clear, faster damage. But look at the tenacities on the side of Geek. Oh, they're going in.
Another good Revenge there, who takes the Letho. It's actually Sin with a splash of water.
Splash of water from Sin, but I gotta say I'm not really a fan of that attack speed, that Fury from Niall. Very, very aggressive, true to his nature, but you see in the bottom lane, Luke and Aran just trading blows. In terms of laning matchup here, I would say the one who wins, Kabuki, might be getting down, and Jadera gets the first blood.
Flicker forward.
Even if, I think it was a possibility that he can secure the kill without the Flicker, but he just wants to be sure, bro. But we were talking about this earlier. The patch notes for the most recent update is the EXP adjustments. By level, the XP required for level 2 to 4 has been increased, but after 4 to 6, it's reduced. So everyone will reach level 6 at the same time, but before the turtle spawns, I think until level 4, it's going to be a lot slower, so the early game becomes even more important. And afterwards, the team EXP gain from turtle increased by 12.5%. So the first turtle fight can really set the tone if the team that gets it doesn't really make a mistake.
First turtle up already. Van getting a good chunk onto Beloyski, getting all the way to 3 stacks. He needs this for this fight. Niall, remember, has that Mortal Coil. Aran's already positioned very aggressively onto that bush. Onward. Not gonna. Oh, it does. That was gonna be Primal right into Raging Storm! Right onto 2. The Wombo comes in. Though it's gonna be a trade back, though. It's gonna be high taken down. Aran now healing back to full HP as a boy gets trapped. Flickers out to safety, but the Appraiser's Wrath finds its mark. Luke jumping in with vengeance, but there's no more threat. A win, I would say, for Aura Fire as they took the turtle.
Oh, you would say, like, they took that 2 kills extra turtle for Aura Fire. That's a lot of value that they have, but Aran, again, making plays. I'd say this is a very one-dimensional Khalid in this kind of case. With the Raging Sandstorm, he has to make those flicker plays. Oh, top lane Kabuki getting chunked up real low by Chidera and Beloyski. But yeah, in terms of like the split push and all of that, I don't think it's gonna happen in this match, Rashi.
The split push, I think that is still the idea for Aura Fire. They're already winning in the early EXP department, and they're winning in the roams, right? Everyone's in the right place at the right time, even faster than Geek. And keep in mind, if you look at the composition, Aura Fire can engage using the Fredrin, they can engage using the Edith, they can try and go for a pickup with Sin, but no, Beloyski goes in first.
Flickers out of the Earth Shatter. Sin now jumping in with Mortal Coil, brings them back. Sin taking low, the Decimation gives him enough movement speed. That's the movement speed we're talking about. Primal Wrath by high right now as he gets chunked low. Geek fam are looking for Kabuki, but he pops in. The BMI gets caught. Beloyski with a good read. Now it's a collapse on the Kabuki with an Earth Shatter connecting, but look at Chidera! Dashing forward, not enough to take him down. The damage reduction from the first tier turret is there to protect him. Van looking for that Appraiser's Wrath, just barely, almost taking Beloy down.
What an aggressive engage for Geek fam. Almost really winning it out, but still getting a bit of a gold lead. As we were saying though, Aura Fire, they have so many more ways to start a fight that Geek fam, they need to be a lot more careful with their execution. If they want to go for an engage, they need to know exactly where everyone is, lest they get counter-engaged like in the first turtle fight. We saw that early on though. I think Kadira is desperately trying to secure a significant lead in that gold lane. He's flickering forward, dashing forward. For now it's okay, but later on he needs to be a bit more careful.
Good onward, Luke able to flicker out. Beloyski with the Time's Revenge right now. As that's a 2-man taunt, Luke jumps forward again, but the Raging Storm catches the back, zones the boy away. He has the Primal Wrath though. Niall is still in the front, dealing damage. Now it's going to be Retry battle and Van wins it. Beloy healing back up, going for the Time's Revenge. It's a double kill for Niall, making a triple. And the man is going for the Maniac. Van able to dash away. A boy dishing a bit more damage. No more chase from Geek fam. They'll take the win here. They win out in the fight, but they lose out on the neutral objective.
Ooh, I would say equal trade, but Niall getting 3 kills in this early of a game for Modest. Remember, this hero is very prone to falling off in the late game, so I think Aura Fire can breathe off a sigh of relief, considering that this is Modest that they're facing. And Niall has to realize and tone it down a little, because I think he's going to go for BOD once again, Mirko.
Well, going for the BOD is alright, but for now, let's look at the instant replay by the Samsung Galaxy Z series. All began with a big engage from both these teams, but Luke bought so much more time. Aran zones everyone back, but in the end, Niall is just untouchable in the front. They seems like a boy went for the turtle as well, trying to burst it away, steal it away from Aura, but Aura Fire, Van is just way too clean with the retribution, secures it for his team, and despite losing in a bit of gold, Aura Fire actually is still ahead in some of the levels due to that factor.
2 turtles already secured for Aura Fire. So far, Niall has not had a good game in terms of objective take. Van, once again, showing off that retreat prowess that he has. Very aggressive, being the main spearhead of Aura Fire. Meanwhile,
he just walks up, man. He is getting chunked low though, however. High with an onward, not connecting. Another shatter onto high, now to taunt once again. Van taking very low. Primal Wrath and a blazing duet onto the back! It's a wombo from Aura Fire, and it's a complete shutdown. Now Chidera falling to the hands of High, and Aura Fire completely capitalizing. Meanwhile, a 1v1 ensues, and it might just be a solo kill from Aran! Now it's a boy looking for the trade. Aran pops the regen for additional sustain. A boy has the dashes, now jumping forward.
No way.
It's a bait. Terrified, Aran gets out.
Not just Aran, it's Aura Effect coming in display here versus Geek fam. 8-6 and 3k gold lead so far, and they're looking for the 3rd objective in this turtle.
What a huge sequence of events, man. Getting the turret in the top side, getting the turtle, and getting all those kills as well. Talk about Kadira being so secure, having 0 deaths, but now with 1 more death or fire, they are not letting up.
Sin. Oh, beautiful final slash from Luke to cancel out an effort made to pick off Aura Fire now on the back foot in this particular skirmish. Let's take a look at the audience prediction here. 68% to Aura Fire.
Wow. Well, Aura Fire has been doing so much better, but you would think that it will be a bit more even with Geek Fam having a huge win themselves. So far, composition-wise, like we were talking about, I think Aura, they are just able to go a lot faster in the mid-game right here. Later on, with Kabuki on the Claude, there's less vulnerabilities in the back line to try and mine. And Van, once again, just going in the front line, engaging stuff, setting up the counter, engage for Aura Fire.
Interesting rotation here from Aura and Geek Fam. Top lane just being ignored at all. Like just the wave is just crashing in for Geek Fam, and they might be looking for a punish towards that. Oh, but Ron with the raging sandstorm.
Niall with the retreat though. Gets the move speed Van instantly with the response, and that is the kill over to Aran. Down below, a trade happening here. Chidera taking high down and the turret as well.
That's value for Geek Fam. They have a turret and also they have a kill. Meanwhile, Sin missed that petrify from a boy. Good read. Meanwhile, look, trying to punish, but still a lot of distance to cover.
A big point earlier, by the way, it seems like Luke was trying to outplay Aran under the turret, but the nerf or the change to the ultimate, that really, really stings, man. It just doesn't come out nearly as quick. You can predict the final slash a lot better right now, and I think Luke needs to adjust. At least for now, it hasn't been fatal, but we'll have to see. In the late game, he has to be a bit more careful about that factor. So far, with the items built, Van, with the Blade Armor Rush, knowing so much basic attack damage is available in the hands of Geek Fam.
Chad Van
Yeah.
just walks up, my goodness, onto 3, and he forces the 3 members to back away.
Yeah, 2.5k gold lead for Aura Fire right now, and Van on this utility jungler, on this Fredrin, definitely has the advantage for this lore take, but Niall and the Geek Fam will not let it go this easily. Meanwhile, Kabuki doing the Aran.
Kabuki just pushing on the bottom side. Geek get to the Lord first, but what can they do with it? The jungler is still around.
Final slash used up Sin. That's him dodged away from another shatter as well. Boy gonna be able to flicker out right now, but the Raging Storm misses or run out of miss, but all gonna be taken down as the Blaze of Duet gets popped in the back, and Kabuki is massive! Picks up a double kill as Luke is forced back. Meanwhile, Niall getting slain by Van. Now it's Luke running for the hills. Kabuki not even going to him. Now it's an onward, another shatter, everything in a kitchen sink thrown at Luke.
4-1, courtesy of that Aran's mistake. Actually, Kabuki just going in with the Blazing Duet. Perfect target onto Chidera, which cannot go into the team fight and deal damage, zoning him out. And that is definitely a W in every aspect of the game for Aura Fire plus the Lord.
Man, these big fights, Geek Fam, they just can't really match up to how ahead Aura Fire is. Forced to back away again and again, and that is not how you want to be moving when you have this composition from Geek Fam. Having a Mardis, he doesn't escape that easily. And Niall gets his buff stolen as Aura Fire asserts their dominance even in the jungle of Geek Fam, now making moves towards the purple buff as well.
A lot of dive potential here for Aura Fire. You have Kadira, you have Khalid, you also have Kabuki going in. It's gonna be very hard for Chidera to make plays happen, but with the peel provided by Niall and crew, I think it's gonna be very, very massive with this wave defense or like turret defense in inhibitor turret.
There's just a lot more tanky heroes on the side of Aura Fire, so Geek Fam are struggling to shred through them. Kadira on that Beatrix usually has good burst damage for squishy heroes, maybe like the Kadira, or maybe if Van is on an Assassin. But since Van is also on the Fredrin and has the Blade Armor, everyone just moves forward and Kadira is forced to go back, and if he goes too far back and uses too many tools, that could be the re-engage, but look at that.
I don't know about that.
So deep there. And now it's going to be another shatter. Oh, a 3-man petrify from Sin! Stopping them in their tracks. The Appraiser's Wrath dislocated. Now Luke jumping back with a vengeance. Gets a shutdown. But in the end, it's a 2-for-1. Now the mini wave coming down. A good Renner's Apathy, but it's only onto High, who soaks it up like it's nothing. Lord taken down mid lane. Now pressure down. Raging Storm and a flicker. A boy, great reaction. Niall going back onto High now with a Mortal Coil. Picks him up with the knockup. Kabuki forced back. Geek Fam have defended, but they lost one base turret.
Oh man, I think that was Beloyski's fault, man. I think he kind of miscalculated the damage that Chatera can put. That's Van on Fredrin and has that full stack Princess Red. Like, what are you doing?
Van was the one who initiated first. I think Valoy was just peeling.
No, the ult, like, that was unnecessary, I would say.
Well,
I don't
we're just
know.
trying to follow up
I
on
don't think so.
that. And I mean, look, Kadira is really behind right now. Only the Malefic Roar on top of the BOD. Wind of Nature is available to him to try and stave off the Blazing Duet and the Raging Sandstorm. But look at Van, right? And Twig Cuirass and Blade Armor. He is not concerned about the magical damage whatsoever. Trying to out-sustain the damage coming in from a boy, knowing that he won't be the main target anyways. Instead, itemizing fully to shut down Kadira, Luke, and Nile by stacking on that physical defense.
4 kill difference, and also 7k difference for Aura Fire. They definitely had this game to lose, but Beloyski with the signature flank, signature shot call here, trying to make something happen. But Aura Fire, they're positioning quite nicely with Zen, and Aran is ready to punish.
Well, on the top side, you see that Luke is trying to clear out the wave, set it up a bit for the Lord take, but without a base turret, it's going to be shoving generally by default on the top side. Beloy, though, might get caught out here.
Ooh, good sidestep there from the Earth Shatter. Oh, they go for the conceal without Luke. They're still looking for a pick here. Earth Shatter connecting onto 2, though. That cancels it. Their efforts of going for a pickoff, of going for a wild initiation, has just been taken away from them. Now it's Aura Fire, who has so much room to play with, and Aran doesn't even need to play his strategy of split pushing up top. He knows he has the better team fight with the Khalid, and they'll just stick to it. Lord Dance here for the second Lord of the game.
Good solid macro, and as per the comment of R7, there's still a chance that they can try and trap Geek Fam with the macro read. But now it seems like everyone's banking fully onto this Lord. Geek Fam trying to go for it. Beloyski doesn't find anyone.
Onward, Earth Shatter, Nile cancels it out with a Mortal Coil, brings High back for a bit. Van to a quarter of his HP. High as well. Valoy now running away. Sin jumps in with the Oddity, but doesn't connect onto anyone. Beloyski with a flicker forward, appraises Wrath, and Van outclasses Nile in the retreat apartment as Kabuki jumps forward with a VMI, taking a boy down. 3-4-1 for Aura Fire.
3-4-1 plus the Lord for Aura Fire. Van once again showing off that Retrin and showing off that KDS 6, 1 and 10, 6 kills for Dredrin. This is rare to see for a Fredrin player.
You see like Beloy trying to go for the big engage with the flicker there as well. Fortunately, it does not land. Now Luke tries to buy some time, but he might get caught. He might get taken out.
Final slash onto 4, flickers out, buys a bit more time, and it's a successful defense. They've kept Aura Fire at bay for now. Now they have time for Nile and a boy, and even Beloy to get back up.
You have the time to get back up. That 10k gold lead, that is really hard obstacle to hurdle there for Geek Fam, especially when they don't really have a lot of creative display or creative engage that you have.
Good engage earlier, now with the flicker onward, and it finds the member. Instantly, Luke taken out with the appraisers. Rampaging Storm onto 3 by Aran. And now it's a boy who gets Chung Lo Chidera, the only man left standing. Aura Fire strikes first, 1-0.
Aran effect is still a full on display here versus Geek Fam. Not the start of the match, I would say, but so far he's still shown that he's still one of the top dogs in the XP lane for MPL Indonesia Season 12.
We didn't get to see it, but I have to tell you guys back at home, all 6 talents predicted Geek Fam, and all 6 talents were